Desire is not just a feeling, it's a power. But in between what we desire and that thing manifesting, there is a space that we often mismanage because we forget that the ending and the new beginning is happening simultaneously. In this message, Spirit wants us to prioritize our heart space. Let's get into it. My sisters, what's good? It's your girl YaYa, the spiritual doula, and thank you for tuning into this video. You know what it is. It's another episode of Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. Yes, ma'am. Look, good message, good message. As you heard in the intro, we are going to discuss the matters of the heart. We are going to discuss desire. Because see, I think a lot of times we think about desire as, oh, it's just something I want, or it's just a feeling I got, or it's just something I desire. But today we're going to talk about the active power of desire. All right, the controlled power of desire. What I mean by control is we're going to discuss using desire intentionally. And then we're also going to discuss what to expect when desire gets the desiring. Right? What do we expect? Because see, what Spirit is saying to me today is that what we fail to understand is that the life we are experiencing right now, the life we have experienced in our past, and the life we're going to experience in our future is all contingent upon what we desire. This is the enormous power of desire. Everything hinges upon desire. So if there is anything you've experienced or anything that you want to experience thus far, your desire is the power to bring that into fruition. Now, I asked Spirit what she wanted to say to the Divine Feminines. And so what she began to talk to me about, and I really sat with this for myself before recording this video so I could really understand what she was saying. And what she is saying is that we are in a process of better understanding the power we wield when it comes to desire. Okay? Desire, I want to call it a secret weapon, but it's not really a secret. But what is a secret about desire is the fact that we don't really understand sometimes how our desire needs to be a little bit more intentional. And not only that, but we don't realize that desire is what causes life to reflect to us what it is we're desiring. And so we have to really do a better job at examining what we desire, because it's one thing to say what you want out of your mouth, but this is a matter of the heart. And when your mouth and your heart does not align, you're going to have issues. You say you want love, but yet your heart is not in a place to actually receive it. So your heart is not really desiring love, although your mind and your mouth is saying different. You say you want success, but yet your heart is producing something other than success. It may even be producing failure, because there's something going on in the space of your heart that is not aligning with what you're saying out of your mouth. So the part about desire that is a secret, so to speak, or a mystery is a better word, right? Is that you have to actually spend time in your heart space to make sure that your heart is in alignment with what it is you want to see in your life. Because life is going to respond to the heart space. And this is the confusion about manifestation. And I know we living in an age where everybody's manifest. All you got to do is speak it and write it down. But that's really not where the power of manifestation is. The power of manifestation is in the heart space. Okay? The power of manifestation is in the heart space. Now, when your heart space, and your mouth or your throat chakra is in alignment. So what you're speaking and what you're feeling or desiring in the heart space is in alignment, then you have more power to manifest. A lot of times we fail in our manifestations simply because we're not in alignment. We say one thing, but then we get the exact opposite, and we be scratching our head like, what's going on? Well, what's going on is that the universe responds to the heart space. The universe responds to the heart space. When the spoken word and the heart space is in alignment, in agreement with each other, then you access a power to manifest. But the spoken word is easier to examine. And so a lot of times when you hear about manifestation, you're hearing about you got to speak this and you speak these words and you do these affirmations because your words are easier to examine. If a person is speaking negatively, then you automatically know that they're going to, we assume that they're going to manifest X, Y, and Z based on those words, right? But that may not always be the case. I'm sure you can think of people in your life who don't necessarily always speak optimistically. They're always kind of pessimistic. And yet they have some degree of success in their life. The heart space has to align with the words that you speak. So if you are speaking positively, if you are affirming yourself, and yet there's still something going on in your heart, then it will hinder your life reflecting to you the positivity that you're actually speaking. And this is the power of desire. And desire is a matter of the heart, not a matter of the word. The foundation of desire is a matter of the heart. When the heart is in alignment, then and the word that you speak gets in alignment, then you are accurately manifesting. Now, this is what Spirit was saying to me earlier, right? Based on what we desire in our heart space, that is going to set on course as a particular or particular flow of life. Based on what you desire in your heart, life is going to begin to reflect the heart space to you. This is why the heart space is so vitally important, right? Because life is going to respond to the heart space. Many of us know what we desire. We know what we want. Okay. And because of what we desire, our life has begun to reflect to us areas in which we need to accomplish or have accomplished, releasing and shedding. So there's a change that happens after the heart begins to reflect its desires. After you set your heart on a particular thing, your life is then going to reflect to you areas where there needs to be change. There needs to be releasing. There needs to be a letting go. There needs to be a death process here. Because most of us are experiencing a life that doesn't actually agree with the desires we actually have. And that is because at one point in life, your desires were less than your desires that you were desiring were not really benefiting you, but you felt they were benefiting you at that time because You only can know what you know. You can't know any more than you know, okay, without experience. So as we grow, as we change, as we age, as all of these factors come in, we begin to know more about ourselves, about who we are, about our purpose, about our destiny. And as we begin to know more, it changes our desires. But what happens is we're still left with the residual life from our old desires. And so when you begin to desire something new for yourself, there is a period where life says, in order for me to reflect that new desire to you, I have to tear down, and you have to participate and aid in the shedding of what was created predicated upon your old desires that no longer serve you. So we immediately go through a period of change and transformation. And this is a very important period. The period of change and transformation, and what you do in that period is very important, because you either aid your new desire into coming into fruition, or you hinder the new desire into manifestation based on how you handle the period of change. Many of you have had to let go, walk away from things, some people, some situations, some dreams, some things that, just no longer seem to be the way you should go. You no longer want that for your life. This could be relationships, this could be business ships, this could be family, this could be just general decisions you've been making for yourself, about yourself, and so on and so forth, right? You've entered into a period of having to shed those things, because this is what happens once your desires change. Once you begin to want more for yourself, you go immediately into a period of transformation. Because, like I said, the residual energies, the residual relationships, the residual decisions that you have made may still be playing out in your life around you. So you go into a transformation, you go into a slight isolation or a full-blown isolation. You go into alone time. The universe begins to isolate you to begin to prepare you to manifest according to this new desire that you have. It could be a career change. It could be a change in your love life. It could be a change in your prosperity and financial stability. It could be a change in your health and wellness. It could be a change in just the way you think. It could be a spiritual evolution. It could be anything. But once you begin to desire something different, you have to then allow yourself to go through the period of change. Now, like I said, how you respond to that change is very important. This is what Spirit was telling me. She showed it to me like the tuning dials on an AM FM radio. This is about you having the ability and knowing that you have the responsibility to tune in. Okay, you have to choose which part of the change you're experiencing are you going to tune into. Let me explain what I mean. Because change does not feel good most of the times, right? Most of the times when you have to give up people, give up relationships, when you have to relinquish certain things, when you have to stop overindulging in certain things, when you have to make the decision to pull away from certain friend groups, when you have these are situations you've been in for I don't know how many years. These are things that you have been aiding yourself and securing yourself with for how many years. These are the security blankets that you allowed to be in your life when you weren't focused on healing. So you have a bit of an attachment to these things, these people, this job, this whatever it is for you. There's an attachment. And in the period of detachment, it can often be painful. There can be hurt involved. There can be disappointment involved. Right? And so on the flip side of change, you have the joy of knowing that after the pain, there is celebration. There is a new beginning. After the ending, there is a new beginning. The ending and the new beginning exist at the same time. Because in all honesty, past, present, and future is a concept of time, which means it is an illusion. Everything exists right now, in the now, right? So if there is an ending happening now, then there is a beginning or a new beginning happening now. At the same point that there is an ending, there is a beginning. And once you know that and begin to look at change from that viewpoint, then you can choose which aspect or which frequency of change are you going to tune into. If you tune into the ending, then most likely you're going to be sitting there possibly crying, possibly complaining, possibly depressed, possibly, going through a lot of low vibrational energy, because that's a low frequency, right? Because if you're ending something, that means you're ending something that no longer serves you, which means you're ending something that vibrates lower than where you're trying to get to. So everything in the ending is low frequency. Or at the same time, you can choose to tune into the new beginning, because they exist simultaneously. If you tune into the new beginning, you will find that you will be filled with joy, with excitement, with fervence, with happiness, with pleasure. Right? Now, we're still under the construct of time, so you cannot judge what you tune into as to what your life is presenting you. The life itself has to also begin to change to reflect to you. So the more you tune into the new beginning, the more the new beginning begins to manifest in very small ways first, and then it manifests in its totality. So what we have the job to do as divine feminines, right, is to be better stewards over the dial, over that dial that changes the frequency. Because everything exists simultaneously. So your ending is here and your new beginning is here simultaneously. You, as a divine feminine, you as a goddess, you have control over the dial as to which frequency of change are you going to tune into. Because if you tune into the wrong frequency, you create an imbalance in the heart space. Like I said, you begin to delay what you're actually desiring to see. And because the universe is responding to the heart space, then it is because you're tuning in and creating an imbalance in the heart space, then the universe and your life is going to continue to reflect to you where you need to end something, where there's shedding, where there's going to be, it continues to reflect to you disappointment, abandonment, rejection, hurt, pain, and discomfort, because that's what you keep tuning the dial into. If you tune the dial into joy, celebration, pleasure, excitement, and fervence for the new thing that is right now, then the universe and your life has no choice but to reflect to you where you are tuned in your heart space. And this is the power of manifestation. Because then you put on top of it the spoken word, and you begin to speak according to the abundance of the heart does the mouth speak, right? Spirit is saying today she wants us to prioritize being better stewards over the dial, because that's where we have control. We control the rhythm, the frequency. We control that part. Okay, which means we control what our life reflects to us. So you have desire at the foundation. So the first thing you have to do is be clear about what you're desiring. You have to heal any misalignments between what you're speaking, what you're thinking, and what you're desiring. And once you heal those misalignments, you now have to know that there's going to be a period of change where something is going to have to end in order for me to get to what I really want. And when I find myself in this period of transformation, I now have the job of managing the frequency of my heart space. I can harp on the ending and all of the discomfort that comes with that, or I can tune into the excitement, the joy, the happiness, the peace, the sheer elation of the fact that what I am desiring is already here right now. It's already here right now. The second I went into an ending of sorts was the second I stepped into a new beginning. In whatever area of your life that you're experiencing change, in whatever area of your life that you want change, that you're desiring something different than what has been, in any area, this is the process. The desire is at the foundation. It is the power. Life is the mirror. Okay? And you have the job of managing the heart space so that your life reflects in alignment to what you truly desire and not what you want. The longer you spend mourning that which has ended, the more you will stay stuck in that old cycle. The more you will stay stuck in that old frequency if you continue to mourn it. Okay? So this is intentional. This is using desire intentionally and with wisdom. Because it's not just enough to say, this is what I want. It's not just enough to name it and claim it. It's not just enough to do affirmations. The real power comes when the heart and the mouth is in alignment. When the mind and the heart is in alignment. Because the heart space is the mind of the spirit. The heart space is the mind of the spirit. It is a beautiful thing that we have gotten to a place where we are serious about our meditations and serious about, doing shadow work when it comes to our thoughts and what we're thinking. It's a beautiful thing that we are tapping into the subconscious of the mind and moving out of so much consciousness, earth consciousness, matrix consciousness. That's beautiful. But the more you become tapped into spirit, the more you will realize that the mind of the spirit is the heart. And that life is reflecting your heart space to you. And so when we know that, Spirit is saying she needs us to prioritize investigating our heart space. She needs us to prioritize investigating what is it we really desire. Really. What is it that we really desire? Okay. And when you really sit with your desires from your heart space, you will further be able to see how your mind and what you think about that particular thing, your mind wages warfare against it. Your mind will come up with all kind of reasons as to why that's not what you should be wanting. So there is an interconnectedness between the mind and the heart. So I'm definitely not saying there's no interconnectedness. There is. But the mind governs the egotistical side, and that is the side we have to slay gently slay, because the ego is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. The mind is not a bad thing. But when it comes to you learning how to lead with your heart, which is the mind of the spirit, then you have to better learn how to control the warfare that sometimes happens between the physical mind, which is in your brain, and your heart and your spiritual mind, which is in your heart. There is a battle sometimes there. And so the more you spend with your heart space, the more it illuminates all the ways in which your mind is not in alignment. It sometimes wars against what you actually desire. Right? Your heart wants to be in a marriage with a high vibrational man, but your mind will tell you there ain't none. Your mind will begin to pull information off the internet and sit and listen to all these gender war topics and all this men ain't that and women ain't that, and it will begin to convince you that there isn't any. So then what you really want from your heart will never come into fruition. And then more than likely in your heart space, you have your own trauma that you haven't healed. So then that trauma begins to confirm what the mind is saying. But then there's another part of your heart that knows that you would love to be in a beautiful relationship, have a husband, a few children if you ain't already got none, or whatever the case may be, right? So you have a whole lot of incongruency going on. You have a whole lot of misalignment. And Spirit is saying she needs us to spend more time in our heart space, healing and going through the change of transformation. And while we are in the change of transformation, keep your hand on the dial and really make sure that you are tuning in the right way. Tuning in a way that will continue to manifest what you desire and not what you don't want. Okay? Thank you for tuning in to Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. Please take a moment to hit the like button, share a little energy with your girl. Okay. Also subscribe if you have not. Would love to have you here because we are more than a channel. We are sisterhood. I say that all the time. And so please also hit that notification bell so you'll know when I am back with another message from Spirit, from the Mother. I love all of you, my sisters. I hope that you are doing well. Continue to enjoy your weekend. All right. Peace, family.